Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hope you guys are doing well. So Lee McGregor defeats Kash Farooq by a controversial split decision. First and foremost, I've got to say, this was a hell of a fight. I actually did a live commentary for this fight on my channel. I did that with Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, aka McGregor. Check out Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News' channel, really good content. I definitely recommend you subscribe. But anyway, a great fight between two unbeaten British bantamweight prospects. It was a fight I really expected to deliver. You know, I really had some high expectations for this fight, and it certainly didn't disappoint. Going into this fight, I was leaning towards Lee McGregor to win it. I felt maybe his superior size could play the difference, and while he got the decision, I've got to say, I felt Kash Farooq did enough to win this fight. I scored it 115-112 to Kash Farooq. So I felt Farooq won. I'm not going to call it a robbery, I need to see it again, but certainly controversial. Fight itself, I felt in the first half of the fight, Kash Farooq really was in control. First round was close. You know, both guys were trying to establish their jab. Both guys were, trying to implement their game plan, and it was really close. I felt Lee McGregor in round one maybe picked the better shots, whereas, Kash Farooq was mainly jabbing to the body. So round one, I felt McGregor won that round. But rounds 2 to 6, I felt Farooq really took over, and he won all of those rounds. I felt he was the guy who was pressing the action. He was applying some really, really good pressure. He was slipping McGregor's punches while coming forwards, and he was landing some lovely body work. That was something that Farooq was doing all night. He really had a lot of success to the body in this bout, and as it went on, you could tell the body work was effective. There were a few times in this fight when McGregor was caught by a big body shot and he would kind of double over or grimace in pain. He was certainly feeling those body shots, so they were very effective. Also, Farooq was kind of throwing an overhand right, kind of bringing it up from low and throwing it over the low jab hand of McGregor. That was another shot he was having a lot of success with. And basically rounds 2 through 6, I felt Farooq was well in control and bossing some of these rounds. He was catching Lee McGregor with some really good shots, putting his punches in bunches. He was throwing more shots and he was evading a lot of what was coming back. And in the first 6 rounds, I felt Kash Farooq looked excellent. I really enjoyed how he transitioned from defense to offense, how he was moving forwards, slipping punches and then countering and working the body. I really enjoyed that aspect of his performance, really, really fluid coming forwards. And yeah, first 6 rounds, I felt he was well in control. Round 7, close round, but I felt Lee McGregor did enough to win that round, landed some good shots. I think he landed a series of uppercuts in round 7 on Kash Farooq, and that was something me and McGregor were talking about in the live commentary. We were saying as good as Kash Farooq was fighting, he's kind of open for that uppercut, and in round 7, Lee McGregor finally found that shot, and he caught Farooq flush, and it certainly got his attention. So I felt round 7 was a good round for Lee McGregor, but, Kash Farooq came back strong in rounds 8 and 9, especially round 8. He was catching Lee McGregor with a lot of good shots. He took back momentum after losing round 7, and obviously round 9 as well, he won that round, again just doing the better work. In the second half of the fight, there was a lot more clinching, a lot more holding, a lot more roughhousing, and I think that was because both guys, fought a very physically draining fight, and as the fight went on, there was certainly more clinching, as it played out. But I felt after round 9, it was Kash Farooq's fight to lose. I felt Lee McGregor needed 3 big rounds with a knockdown or 2 to win the fight. Round 10 was a really good round for Lee McGregor. He was landing some really good shots. He was starting to, hold his shape a lot better, landing good body and head shots. Kash Farooq was having success of his own, but the same level of head movement wasn't there, and he was getting caught with more shots than he was earlier in the fight. So round 10, I felt Lee McGregor won it. However, there was a point deduction in this round for Lee McGregor, I believe for holding. So because of a point deduction, I had to score it a 9-9 round. And round 11, I felt again Lee McGregor won the round. Pretty close round, both guys had success. I just felt Lee McGregor picked the better punches, the better quality punches. And round 12, I felt Lee McGregor clearly won. He caught and hurt Farooq with a couple of good right hands, which had Farooq holding on. He certainly felt the weight of those shots, and Lee McGregor just closed out round 12 really well. So my final scorecard was 115-112 to Kash Farooq, while Lee McGregor closed the show quite well. You know, he finished strong. I just don't think he did enough to win this fight, to be quite honest. I'm not going to call it a robbery. I would need to see it again. But like I said, certainly controversial. But Lee McGregor becomes the new British and Commonwealth bantamweight champion. This was an excellent fight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend you checking it out. I really do. It was a great fight. And I think, regardless of what you think of the decision, I think both guys will improve from this fight. I really do. You know, both guys fought this fight very early in their careers. Lee McGregor, 22 years old. Kash Farooq, I think he's 23. I think McGregor was 7-0 going into this fight, or 8-0, whereas Kash Farooq was only 13-0. So both guys had very few fights. Both guys were young, and they took this risk early on. And I only believe it will benefit them going forwards, you know. These guys can only learn from a tough fight like that. And, you know, these prospect fights should happen early on in these guys' careers because, first and foremost, it creates for great fights. And like I said, from a development perspective, I think it can do fighters the world of good. We saw that with George Groves and James DeGale. Both guys went on to become world champions. We've seen that with Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Joshua went on to become a world champion, and Dillian Whyte went on to become a world title contender. And even Billy Joe Saunders versus Eubank Jr., they fought, you know, before world title level, and Billy Joe went on to become a two-weight world champion, and Eubank Jr. is still relevant today at world level. So if you match these guys early, it doesn't really matter if somebody takes a loss, especially if it's a good fight like that. You know, if it's competitive, if it's, you know, got moments in it where both guys have success, listen, man, both guys can rebound, both guys can rebuild, and they can learn a lot from these type of experiences. You know, these type of fights are a lot more valuable than 20 fights against cab drivers. Even if you're on the losing side, it's a lot more valuable in terms of experience and in terms of developing as a fighter. So I think this fight will do both the world of good, and both guys, for me, have good futures at bantamweight. I'm intrigued to see where both guys go from here. I've got to say, based on the first fight, I think a rematch is required. But are they going to wait to do that? You know, maybe further down the line when both guys have bigger profiles, potentially. But I would like to see it next. I think the fight warrants a rematch. You know, most of the people online that I've seen felt Farooq won. So certainly controversial. And it was a good fight. So no reason why a rematch can't be made. But we'll see where MTK goes with it. Credit to both men for putting on a hell of a show. The fight delivered for me. And yeah, I enjoyed doing the live commentary on it. Like I said, if you guys haven't checked it out, I strongly recommend you watch this fight. Definitely worth a watch. Really fun fight. Both guys had success. There are some good moments. Definitely one you need to watch. But anyway, share your thoughts below. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on the fight. How did you score it? Did you score it to Kash Farooq like me? Or did you feel Lee McGregor done enough to get a decision? What were your thoughts on the point deduction, the officiating, and the fight in general? Like I said, share your thoughts below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you watched the fight, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you could smash the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. It really helps me out. But anyway, it's been Delboy, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Peace.